Good morning, all. We have the U-Log on. We have a cat. We have a dog. I'm so sorry. I didn't even finish the vlog last night. Like, it was just nothing crazy happened. I was just in the zone. And then all of a sudden I was at the dog park and I was like, oh, I need to go home and film an outro. And then my little brother called me and then my grandma called me. And then my boyfriend was over and building something for me. And all of a sudden I was just asleep. And then I woke up and I was like, okay. It was just a crazy day. Not really a crazy day as a project manager, just kind of a crazy day to be alive as a human, I suppose. But it is now Wednesday, so happy hump day. Cheers to that. It is Wednesday, November 13th, and I've already knocked out some stuff this morning. So yesterday's video was short, but it's up. I also, what is this? Did my daily accountability chart. Nothing crazy there. I mapped out my day. I moved my retirement fund from Empower to Vanguard, and that officially went through. So I was kind of like browsing some different things I want to invest in, some different EFTs and stock options. And then, what am I saying? What did I do after that? Oh, so I found out for the longest time, I budget every month, and I would see an American Strategy and a home site insurance come through on my checking account statement. And they were small amounts. One was $19, one was $14 and some change. And, you know, I called and they were like, well, Homesite bought American Strategy. So it's actually the same thing. And I was like, okay, so they're just like splitting my payments for some reason. But then I was like, I don't think my home insurance is $35 a month. I think it's like 15 or 20. It should only be one. So I started digging into it and I realized I've been double charged for a policy since June of 2023. So I called them again and they were like, there's nothing we can do for you over the phone and they're probably only going to refund you for 1 month of that, but you can try. So I reached out and they sent me some documentation and they had like, my residence insured is this one, but the name insured and the address under it is my old one, but it's not even like they have typos all over the address. And I was like, this doesn't match the documentation that I have on file. And so they were like, we'll get back to you within 3 to 5 days. 3 weeks later, I finally get an email after I've followed up like 4 times with them. And just gotten crickets back. So like, if you cannot do Progressive Homesite, they suck. Honest to God. This is like, I'm hoping that they'll back bill me for everything. And I know it's not like the customer service team's fault, but just like get your shit together from like an operations level. That's somewhere where I'm like, as a project manager, let me come in and help you. Like you are a hot ass mess, clearly. You need a ticketing system or something. But anyway, I sent in like the declaration page that they asked for. I just sent them a bunch of documentation, so I got that all out of the way. It's 8:35 right now, and I have the gym coming up next. I have 2 meetings today, and we have a really big block on ad audit. So I think I mentioned yesterday that if you are interested in Google Ads, you're going to want to watch this vlog, because I don't know when, but at some point today, we're going to be talking in-depth Google Ads, PPC audit, that's pay-per-click. So if that's something you're interested in, I can just kind of offer you my perspective on that. Oh. I got to do a quick reschedule email, and then I'm going to get changed, clean up a little bit, and head to the gym in the next 15 minutes. It is leg day. Rah, raggy. Okay, I will talk to y'all soon. Happy Wednesday. Let's get the day going. Okay, leg day is completed, and now I'm drinking my fiber drink. If you watch, you know that I just drank Metamucil, which is like very not glamorous. Oh, I thought I was missing a nail. Okay, so this part of the day I get ready. This part of the vlog, I get ready and I walk you through what's ahead for my day. And for the record, I don't do this because I think people give a shit what I do. The reason I do it is because I think it gives you a really good line of sight into how a project manager structures, a freelance marketer, and a business owner structures their day. Wednesdays are special because
I have the least, I protect my Wednesdays. I try to have like next to no meetings. I usually still have 1 or 2. Today I have 2. So Wednesdays are definitely more of like a strategy day. I work on my business a lot. I also do work in my business, but it's the day where there's a lot of time dedicated to working on my business. So right now it's 9:37. My first meeting is at 10:30. In between now and then I need to get ready. I need to do some ad adjustments for our brand and then create some coupon codes for Black Friday and Cyber Monday for them. We're gonna fix this hair, don't worry. And then at 10:30, I have a call where not a lot. Usually I'm leading that call, but this is part of this project manager transition. If you've been watching the vlog, I've been offboarding from a client and onboarding a new PM to replace me. And then after that, I'm taking an early lunch because I have a lunch call. So from 11 to 12, I take my dog to the PARK to get some of her energy out because she just kind of lays around all morning and she's 1 year and 9 months, so she's a baby. And then I'll eat some lunch, which is pre-made, thankfully. And then, what am I saying? And then from 12 to 1, I have a content call with a client. Again, I won't have to do much there. I'm really running the tech on that. I'll do more in those calls in the future, but this one is a little bit different. And then from 1 to 1:30, I have like a little admin like break, get my shit together, because then I have a 2-hour block. And I think I mentioned this in the beginning, but this is a big day for Google Ads, Facebook ads, Meta. Sorry, Facebook ads is Meta, like PPC work. And I'm gonna do part of that work outside and then come back inside, finish it up. And hopefully I'll have enough time to kind of give y'all a rundown. But basically I have a meeting tomorrow morning where I have to present some account recommendations and feedback for 3 different ad accounts, and one of them spends $60,000 a month. So one of them is like very significant. And then after that, that'll take us up to 3:30. I try every single day to dedicate a half hour to 45 minutes to take my dog outside, and I do what I call enrichment, which is where she just kind of gets to roam around a little bit, chew on some sticks, not swallow them, just chew them, and people watch. And then from 4 to 5, I have a to-do block that is for a little bit for myself and then some stuff for other clients. And then from 5 to 5:30, I have the final block for myself. And then I will kind of give you a rundown of what we're doing tonight, but part of that will be filming and posting a TikTok, and then doing some household stuff. So not too late of a day. But you have to keep in mind that I start my days at about 7:15, 7:30, and then I take this break for the gym. So I work an average of like a 10-hour day. It does depend a bit, but, oh, there it is. I was like, where's my eyelash curler? That's kind of how it shakes out, typically. Okay, I'm gonna finish getting ready, and then we will reconvene when I'm at my desk. All right, this is outside of the bigger ads conversation happening, but I was just jumping in to tweak another client's ads because just impressions were not showing. So what I did is the bidding strategy we used was maximize conversions. I changed that to maximize conversion value. We were also using smart bidding, and when you're doing smart bidding, Google automatically turns on only broad match keywords. So there's 3 main types of keywords. Broad match, which is what it sounds like. If the keyword is teddy bear, you want to target any keywords on like a broad scale that are similar to that. There's phrase match, which would be like custom voice teddy bear. So like match that phrase or similar phrases. And then there's exact match, which would be like the brand name or any very, very specific keywords that if people target, we want to show for. So I turned off having it set to only broad match keywords, and then I sprinkled in some phrase match, one exact match, and then I added some negative keywords, and then I'm adding some placements so you can target specific YouTube channels, websites, or apps, and I'm adding those in, but it's being annoying. So it's 10:20. I have to make these coupon codes and then jump on a 10:30 call. I will be back.
Right, like they have not been able to.
Okay, just got off call, and I forgot I have 3 calls today. I don't have 2. I got off call number 2 of the day. That was a content workshop that I wasn't leading. I will probably lead more in the future, but I come at it from like a marketing lens, and I'd upload it into our video reservoir. And now it's time to work on ads. So it's 1:11 and I have until 3:30 booked. But I do need to do this, send a quick message, and I'm gonna take her out to this little area that my apartment complex has where you can like work outside and there's nice shade. So I'm just gonna take my headphones, because if you watch, you know that when I need to get in the zone, I listen to jazz music or instrumental rap. So headphones are secured and hotspot's ready to go. I'm gonna get my dog a couple bones and we are going to head down. So maybe I'll take a clip if I remember. If I don't, I'm sorry, but I'm only gonna be down there for about an hour. I made a protein coffee, which is just Starbucks and the Fairlife milk. And then we'll be back. So I'll see you in about an hour. All right, y'all, so I was gonna do a screen share of this Google Ads audit that I've done, but there's a lot of identifying information here and I feel a little bit nervous about it. So I'm not gonna do that, but I am gonna walk you through exactly what I did. So to kind of lay the groundwork, I brought on a new client and I will be managing 3 of their ad accounts for them. And those ad accounts span multiple advertising channels, including Bing, which is Microsoft advertising, Google, and Meta, or Facebook and Instagram advertising. So my task from, I think it was last Thursday to this Thursday, so tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., I have to present all of this ad audit that I've done to my client and kind of walk them through what I want to do with all of their different company accounts. So this first one is a university, and they're actually in the middle of a peak season right now because it's enrollment season from now until December 7th. So it's November 13th, December 7th. So these would need to be made these changes would need to be made lickety-split. For context, for this first one, I do not have Meta or Bing Microsoft advertising access. I only had Google. So they tasked me with auditing, the best way to finish out this enrollment period with what we're working with, and then also to weigh in on the evergreen strategy, which would just be like that always on strategy in between enrollment seasons. So the first thing I'm going to ask them tomorrow is I start with some questions. So I want to know if Bing is converting at all. I don't know because I don't have access, and if they're not, let's allocate those funds just during this enrollment period to the channels that we know are converting, because they are 43% behind their enrollment goal from last year. The next thing is there was this campaign. It's a Google Performance Max campaign. It's kind of a newer campaign type that they rolled out, and it's turned off, but it was the second highest converter and the second highest spender. It wasn't spending nearly as much as the top campaign, like $9,000 less, but converting a lot and a really low cost per conversion. So I'm confused why we paused that. Anyway, the next thing I looked at was keywords across all of the campaigns. So there's 3 keywords. There's a broad match keyword, which is just reaching the broadest audience possible with that keyword. There's a phrase match keyword, reaching people that are searching that, and then phrases similar to that. And then an exact match keyword is reaching people who are literally searching the keyword that you type in exactly. And we seem to be using only broad match keywords for most of the campaigns. And this raises a little bit of concern because there's a high probability that we're just attracting a lower quality audience because we're trying to just spray the message everywhere. So I recommended that we blend broad, exact, and phrase match keywords. You can set cost per click limits on individual keywords. So I want to set some of those limits. I want to loosen some of those limits during this window. Okay, sorry, I just realized I had something in the wrong spot. Loosen some of those cost per click limits during this particular enrollment window. And we'll get to the evergreen approach in a second. And then one of the Google reps recommended leveraging TCPA, which is target cost per acquisition. And to really do that effectively, we would need to know cost per lead by the program that this university offers, because that's kind of how they have the campaign split out.
So that's a question I'm bringing. And then they have some random locations they're targeting. There's like a roofing place and then a place in Georgia that just do not, like, maybe there's connection to the brand and I don't know it. The next thing is from the Google Ads overview page, and it is this big chart that breaks down you versus your competitors in impression share, outranking share, top of page rate, overlap rate, and we are beating all of our competitors in impression share and top of page rate, but we're losing in outranking share, which means that when somebody is typing in a keyword that we're trying to rank for, if our competitors also ranking for it, we're losing 100% of the time because our outranking share is 0%. So a lot of my recommendations have to do with improving that outranking share. So I want to apply all of the recommended optimizations from the insights page because we really need to get our ad rank up and our quality score. Quality score directly impacts ad rank. And then I want to raise bids for our highest performing keywords. And I pasted the top 4, and there's more beyond that too, but I want to pull up the bid on those. And then we also have some gaps in relevance between the search ads. So they run video display and search ads. Search ads, at this time at least, are going to be the most effective because search ads are really good for high intent searches. So that means somebody who's coming, they've done their research, they know exactly what they want, they're just looking for what brand to land on to get what they want. And on a lot of the search campaigns, you target keywords and then you also have copy that would show up in the Google search engine page result. And then that would go to a landing page where they could apply online. And there's not a lot of relevance between the targeted keywords, the ad copy, and the landing pages. So I called out 2 ad groups just as an example, but it's kind of like a global thing that would need to be changed and need to be changed quick. So that's everything that I think we can do in less than a month that might help us boost some conversions. For an evergreen approach, I had a few thoughts on Bing. Again, I don't know what it looks like there, but Bing is technically good for an older audience. And so this university is targeting people up to their 50s. So I would recommend like 35 and up. We target them, we target high earners, and we can do that because Microsoft advertising allows you to target by LinkedIn profile. So we could pull a lot of that data in. Said high earners. And then from a regional perspective, this is a university that's located in a specific state, but they're online, so they can have people outside of the state. So Bing is actually typically a lower cost per click, lower cost in general, just because there's less competition on there. A lot of advertisers just really underestimate it. So I think that could be a really good place to start earning some of that market share outside of the state that the university is actually in. But for an evergreen approach, I'm recommending kind of a cross-channel collaborative approach. So starting with Meta ads. Meta is really good for top of funnel awareness style campaigns, very visual, nice flashy visuals, a little bit more like we don't need really heavy targeting, but we're kind of just spraying, right? And we're focusing on cost per result with Meta. So we would start with a base video that's just kind of like an awareness ad. It has a student testimonial on it. And then we would set up 2 retargeting campaigns. First, retargeting with a carousel ad of programs, and then retargeting with a single image that's encouraging them to apply online. So then we would move into Google. So Google display or video, these are both good for middle of funnel. So typically in middle of funnel, this is when people are doing their research, they're starting to think about, what they want to do. If they want to do it, they might kind of be hemming and hawing on this decision. And we would want to use those to retarget the Facebook visitors and all site visitors. I'll just put focus on retargeted audiences only. And you typically spend less than 2 because you know exactly who your audience is. And then finally, Google search. This is a bottom of funnel technique, like I mentioned before, really focusing on tight keywords. We would want cost per click limits on a broad match, and then maintain some of that flexibility for broad and phrase and exact match keywords. And then I would also recommend setting up the campaigns by program or certificate, and then setting location at the ad group level. So the hierarchy of an ad campaign is it starts with the campaign, and then you can have ad sets within the campaign, and then each ad set has its number of ads, photos, whatever is associated with it. So I'm saying let's do like Masters in Mental Health Counseling campaign, and then ad group, Masters in Mental Health Counseling campaign for this state, for this state, for this state. And then landing pages include student testimonials and badges. Okay, so that's the first one, and that's the highest spender, so I spent the most amount of time on that. The other two are wedding venues, and they both looked really good, so I just kind of noted like who's spending the majority of the budget. Some insights I saw, like there's some times that we can adjust when ads are shown, so we're kind of maxing, we're getting the most bang for our buck, essentially. We're showing our ads during the highest performing times, and then we're pulling back our budget a little bit when we know our audience is offline or just not really searching according to the data. Like keyword management, kind of looking at the search terms report in Google, excluding anything that's irrelevant, adding things in that seem to make sense. There was a couple things at their landing page that were out of date. There were some more weird locations. And then on Meta, there was some like fragmentation issues, some performance goal issues, just some things. I didn't see anything really wrong with it, but I just wanted to include it and kind of see what they say tomorrow morning when they see this. One of their campaigns is getting a ton of spam comments. So for this, we can either tighten up targeting or we can turn on comment moderation filters, and you can like basically block any comments that tend to be spam type of comments. We would have to, come up with a list of those, and that's a little bit harder, but I think tightening up targeting is a good thing. And then there aren't any ad sets or campaigns targeted at the mother of the groom or the mother of the bride, and I feel like that, because these are both like pricey venues, I think that could be good. And the other one is another wedding venue. That's just all their meta campaigns are focused only on traffic. So for their evergreen campaign, I would like them to run an awareness and traffic campaigns and consider some retargeting, because they don't have anything like that. On Facebook, you can do a lookalike audience too. I think that would be great. Their landing pages are not responsive, so on mobile, things are getting cut off, so you can't read the whole thing. One of their campaigns has really low click-through rate, so I want to kind of look in at the audience limits for that, the audience parameters, and rethink some of that. And then what else? They have one ad in their entire account for this wedding venue that has a carousel ad, which means there's multiple images in the ad. There's only one, and it's one of the lowest performers, and so I'm just curious. I just want to know if they've run carousel ads in the past and they historically perform poorly. Being a wedding venue, I would think people would want to go through that. Like that doesn't totally make sense to me, so I want to pull that string a little bit. And then they're also considering Pinterest for this one, but they have a really small budget. They only have like $2,500 a month to spend on this one. So I said, given the smaller budget and the fact that Pinterest ads are very pricey, I would recommend remarketing only to website visitors. So people who landed on this wedding venue website, let's target them because it will be lower cost. And start by spending $10 to $20 a day. So that's everything. I literally just showed you what I've been working on for the past few days. It took me 4 hours, so I'm gonna add that into my Stripe invoice. That doesn't go out for them until the 29th, but we'll definitely be charging for this. I charge $75 an hour for this specific client, but there's a lot of variation on how I decide to save. Okay, I use Stripe right now, but I do need a new one. So let's see here. It is account audits for client 1, client 2, client 3. Okay. There we go. Cool. and there's gonna be more on that. So, all right, that was my big show and tell for Google Ads. I worked outside for a little bit, came back in, finished up on the big monitor. Okay, I'm just looking at what I wanted to talk to y'all about. Next up is a protein shake. I think I'm gonna wait. I think I need water, but enrichment. And then I have a call at 4 where I need to present a marketing report. So I'm gonna actually pull it up now so I'm ready to go. And I don't feel rushed post enrichment. And then 4:30 to 5:30, we have our last work block of the day. Hopefully I'm doing a better job than the vlog yesterday, and hopefully I don't forget to vlog the rest of this. So I will talk to you guys in an hour or so. She is Beauty, she is Grace, she is a cherry protein smoothie. Time to go take a call. I am genuinely so frustrated. I just got off of a call where it's once a month, I present a report. I'm always trying to like pull strategy out of it, and at the end of it, the guy goes, so how are we gonna like act, like what are we gonna do with these metrics? What are we gonna do strategically? And I was just like, do you not listen to it? So I start to talk, I get interrupted. I try to talk again, I get interrupted. I try to talk again, I get interrupted. And I was like, okay. And then they're like, oh yeah, sorry, I just want to get this in. And then they mansplained to me exactly what I had presented we should do. I don't know if I want to be a part of it anymore. Like, it's genuinely pissing me off so much, and it sucks. Like, it kind of hurts because I loved working with these people and I really thought that they had like my best interest at heart. And I just don't believe that that's the case anymore. I feel used, and damn, these eyelashes at the end of the day are just not looking the same. Okay. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. It is 4:35. I'm gonna work on one thing for them. And then one thing for myself. And then I'm done for the day. I'll check back in. All right, I just did some research on design thinking, recorded that. Schedule sent the ad audit to deliver in their emails tomorrow at 8 a.m. and the call's at 9 a.m. And now I'm gonna get into my night. So I'm actually gonna try to edit this vlog and get this fully set. I have until 5:30 technically, it's 5:03. So I'm gonna see how much I can get done by 5:30. Take my dog on a WALK, feed both pets, doing a seasonal depression walk. If you're curious about what that is, check out my TikTok. And then I'm putting up Christmas decor tonight. I'm finishing cleaning up this desk setup, getting my printer set up. Oh, and I need to send an email and I need to make a to-do to thank the team for sending me my my printer. And then that's it for the night. So hope y'all had a great Wednesday, and I will see you tomorrow for our Thursday together.